And so I went up and I had a table with a couple of candles and some matzah, that's bread without leaven in it, a cup. Typically at Passover, it would be a cup of wine. I didn't know the particular how that would be received, so I think I had Welch's, 2-year-old Welch's grape juice. It was a good year for Welch's, so I used that. I don't want to offend Baptists, so I frequently use Welch's. And step by step walked through what the rest of my Jewish community would be doing that night as a Passover Seder, where Yeshua, Jesus himself, uncovers the mystery of the new covenant, of the bringing together of Jew and Gentile, a great mystery, the mystery of the gospel, because God so loved the world. It doesn't say in John 3:16 and following that God so loved Abraham and his immediate family that he... No, it says that he so loved the world. In fact, if you read the Exodus accounting very carefully, you'll find that as Israel came out of 430 years of captivity and being slaves, that there was a mixed multitude of nations who were living in Egypt during those days and saw the destruction of all the gods of the Egyptians, who were considered to be the creators, the sustainers, the providers, the liberators, all those gods. And one by one, the God of the slaves destroyed them in those plagues. And you'll find that there was a mixed multitude, because when Israel came out, there was an invitation into a new expression. There was a kingdom being expressed there of Jew and Gentile. And I'm always amazed that some people will preach that at Pentecost was the birth of the church. Well, actually that word church, ecclesia, the gathering, the assembly, it was way back before that. There was an invitation not only to the Jew, the descendants of Abraham, but to anyone of the nations who would say, "This is God. I'll take him." And the invitation was wide open. Your last name didn't have to be Goldstein in order to be a follower of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Mm-hmm. So I walked through this. Wow, a miracle just happened. I got another 10 minutes. Coming. Place in the Passover that is just stunning. It's where the church has removed these two elements and called it the Lord's Supper or communion. Great. Yes, it is. But it's so stunning within the context of the telling of the delivering of the people of God and the revealing of the one true God in the story of the Passover, where that unleavened bread, that Yeshua identifies himself as the bread of heaven, the bread of life. The Apostle Paul identifies him as the bread on the table that's without leaven, without sin, and the extraction of these statements that seem to, for the occasional reader, for the one who doesn't know from whence these things have sprung are just, they take my breath away every Passover to see these things and to partake of them in a fullness of understanding and revelation. I say again, the presence of Jesus changes everything.
Amen.